Unanswered questions searching for a motive after a gunman opens fire at a Frederick business complex before being shot dead at Fort Detrick. Hello, I'm Denise Koch.
And I'm Vic Carter. Frederick Police, the FBI, and the military all investigating today's attack.
Now, it started just after 8 this morning at an office complex on Progress Drive in Frederick.
And it ended just about 2 miles away when the gunman sped past security at Fort Detrick and was shot by police on the base. WJZ is live with team coverage.
Investigator Mike Halgren is live in Frederick. He has what we just learned from police. Mike.
Denise and Vic, I am at the storefront, or the business park where this all started, as close as you can get to the military linked storefront. This is still under investigation. This is where 2 sailors were shot, and there are still a lot of questions. The big one is why.
All units, 1043, city is operating on an active shooter event, possibly multiple victims. We have one with a gunshot wound to the left chest, shallow breathing, going in and out of consciousness.
Multiple gunshot wounds to the torso.
Frightening moments in Frederick.
Female with blonde hair and a military cut.
Carrying a long rifle.
Police say this morning, 38-year-old Fantahun Gurma Woldesenbet, an active member of the Navy, opened fire on a facility tied to the military in a tech park, shooting 2 sailors here.
We always hope that we don't get that call. Today we got that call. Tomorrow it could be another agency.
They say Woldesenbet then drove to Fort Detrick, an Army installation about 10 minutes away, and was able to get inside for 4 minutes before being shot dead.
The subject was stopped at the gate, and before he was able to be searched, he sped past the gate, made it about a half-mile into the installation. He was pursued immediately by the Fort Detrick Quick Reaction Force. They were able to stop him in a parking lot. He then brandished a weapon, and our police department was able to neutralize the subject.
Police are not yet revealing a motive or whether the suspect knew the victims or even was in uniform at the time. Woldesenbet lives in Frederick.
We are still investigating motive, investigating the exact circumstances of the subject.
Now, one of the victims is in critical condition at shock trauma. The other victim could be released from the hospital as early as tomorrow. Reporting live in Frederick, Mike Halgren, WJZ.
All right, thank you, Mike, and our live team coverage continues.
Let's go now to Avajoy Burnett, live in Frederick, a community that's shaken by this violence. Avajoy.
Good afternoon. Well, this is a pretty big corporate complex. A real estate website described it as 650 acres, and people had just started their workday when police say an active duty military member went inside a building and started shooting. As you can imagine, so many people were impacted. A local college went on lockdown. People in neighborhoods around here were put on high alert.
9:06 a.m. Frederick police put out a tweet about an active shooter at a business park.
I just seen a whole bunch of, people running and yellow tape. It was crazy out here.
Kareem Moore is a truck driver who pulled up on the scene. He said he had no idea what was happening.
I just seen like the people reaction. Like it was just like crazy. Like people were just like just running around like they were like, and it was like total chaos.
Brian Bauer was working across the street from the business park where the 2 sailors were shot.
Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking.
His sister was the one who called him from another state and told him what was happening.
And I was in the building, and when she said it, I come outside, and of course helicopters, cop cars everywhere.
Police say the shooter, who was an active member of the military, then drove to Fort Detrick, which is about 10 minutes away from the first scene, and personnel there shot him. Frederick Community College is on the same street as the military base. In the midst of the chaos, the college tweeted this urgent message to their students: please follow the lockdown alert. This is not a drill. People who live in that area told WJZ they knew something was off, especially when they heard alarms coming from Fort Detrick.
Next thing I know, it was going off, and it kept going off, and then I kept hearing police sirens and a little social media search, and saw that there was an active shooting incident going on.
As we've mentioned at the top of all of this, there are several buildings in this complex, and earlier today we saw some people who were outside of one of the buildings actually having lunch. They told me that they were inside one of those adjacent buildings when the shooting happened, that they were able to go back to work because their building was not directly impacted. Live at 4 in Frederick County. Avajoy Burnett for WJZ.
Avajoy, thank you, and we invite you to stay with WJZ as we continue to follow that shooting in Frederick. We'll bring you the latest on the investigation both on air and online at WJZ.com.